Okay, so we are going to, start the training about Appian and the Appian, what is Appian and all. So basically, Appian is a BPM tool. BPM means Business Process Management. So it's a systematic approach to improve an organization business processes and to make the process is more effective, efficient, and adaptable to the changes. And like it involves multiple steps in that like designing the workflow. And when designing, we identify the entire workflow and we try to break down in small processes and small tasks, like one step to another step, and like where the workflow can move one place to another place. And then we model it using a suitable BPM software where Appian comes into picture. So like in the modeling, it helps us to understand how the tasks flow and where the user interacts this thing. And then after that, we execute the process, we implement the process using this Appian tool or any kind of automation platform. Then after that, we can monitor the processes to track the performance metrics and the time, the cost, quality, everything. And then we can optimize it, we can identify the bottlenecks and improve the process continuously. So like this business process management is basically a method of automating and managing uh, our business processes. And also some places it's known as intelligent automation or digital process automation, and it combines the flexibility of custom end-to-end business solution and the predictive power of an AI. And we have the freedom of not going in way of conventional hard coded like the Java, .NET, all these application we see there a lot of coding is involved. But in case of BPM tools or like Appian tools, it involves low code, so there coding, hardcore coding is not required. But yes, obviously you need to have a little bit coding understanding and also database understanding, how the database works, like these things you need to be understand. So then we can easily learn this. So Appian is one of the leading BPM tool in the market. So the most is like Appian is one of the efficient tools which comes into implementation of BPM, business process automation. And in this like BPM tool, there are a lot of other tools like Pega, Camunda. These tools are there, but among them, Appian is one of the easy to learn tools, and it takes uh, if you are sincere and if you are willing to learn, you can learn quickly, and if you practice. So Appian is basically a BPM, low code BPM platform, and it helps organization to design, automate, and optimize business process quickly. And it combines workflow automation, data integration, and AI driven decision making. Okay. So, and Appian also provides the benefit of low code development. You can work or automate your workflows, and you can integrate databases, different APIs quickly and easily using Appian. So let's go to this tool and see how it looks like. So this is the Appian tool, which looks like, and one minute, sorry. So this is the Appian tool. It looks like, and this is what we call is Appian Designer. So this is the place where all the developers come, and we can create the application, and we can create our processes, and we can automate the workflow using this place. This is called Designer. Okay. And apart from that, we have other places where the end users can interact with Appian. So there are multiple ways to interact, which we'll show later. So one of them is this called sites. So it's like let's take this as an example. It's like a custom website which is built on Appian. So like there are different things we can do. We can show the data, we can create different kind of charts. We can automate our workflows, processes. Also, we can, show the data in different kind of UIs, interactive data UI, and we can create like different kind of options. We can, see the data into different places. We can interact with the data. We can take action on the context of a data. We can do a lot of things in here. So this is like a dummy thing where it's like a custom website where these clients, they can do their stuff, these things. And in this, the good thing is like not only you can see the data, you can also take context on the of the data, and also you can create anything. So all these things you can do using Appian. Okay. Now, if we go to this application, so this is what we call is designer. So first is like applications part. Now after applications, we have different tabs. Let's quickly explain all the tabs, and then we'll go to individual application building or something. So this is a application, and in Appian, application is like a package. So let's take a shipbuilding container. So when a shipbuilding container goes in a large container, there are a lot of small items are there, which makes the entire container. So this application is like that. So in one application, there are a lot of multiple small objects, which makes the entire application. So if we come under an application, so once we go into application, it first option that we get is to explore. Like it shows what are different objects is there, if any connected system, web API, these things are there, just to give you the brief overview. Okay, but now if I go to this build part, in the build part actually it shows you all these things. So basically I'm inside a application order. Let's take order fulfillment application, and in this part I can see different objects are there. So different things I can see it here, and there are different category objects available in Appian, which I will explain one by one. What are the purpose of them? We'll go one by one each other into them. So this is what the application is. It contains different kind of objects and different kind of things, and which it purposes, and it serves the purpose of a to automate a process, these applications. So in one platform, there can be contain multiple applications. So let's say one client, they have multiple use cases. So for different kind of use cases, we can create n number of applications. Okay, so for each use case, we can create one application each. Okay, or also in Appian, we have options to share objects between each other. Like one application objects can be shared within another application. So it promotes the reusability also. So these kind of things available in Appian. Okay, so these were the applications tab. Now after applications tab, we have the objects tab. So under the objects tab, we can see all the different kind of objects. Now in this objects part, we can see all the objects here, but these all the objects one will be available once we search anything. So like if I select any constant something constant type object, all the constant type object will be shown here. And in this one, so all the applications belong to all the objects which belongs to different applications are available here. So any developer can come and search in this place. Now after the objects tab, we have deployments tab. So obviously in a development agile development stage, we have multiple environments like dev, SIT, UAT, then production. So generally we build in the application in development dev environment, then we deploy the application to SIT. From SIT we take it to UAT and then to production. So similar way we can see all the like the deployment, incoming deployment, or the outgoing deployments. So one environment to another environment, if we do the deployment, we can see it here in the deployment tab, like who deployed, what is the package, like when it was deployed, all these things we can see. Or like, is there any error with the deployment, what we can do to resolve the error, all this stuff we can see it here. Okay, now after this deployment tab, we have the monitoring tab. So in the monitoring tab, we can see all the live processes, or the live, let it load. So this is actually a Appian free training server. That's why it's a little bit slow. And so once you guys open your account into Appian community, you can also request for your free training environment. So which Appian provides to users. And it's taking so much time to load. Looks like the monitoring tab is taking so much time to load. So we'll explain monitoring tab later. Maybe we'll duplicate it and show the users part. Okay, so apart from the monitoring tab, in the monitoring tab, basically we can see all the live uh, processes happening, like live performances, what kind of performance time in any object, like we have record objects, interface, process models. So what is the live real time live running statuses that we can see, whether any process is failing or not, whether any record which is taking so much time, these things, all this stuff we can check under monitoring part. So maybe some reason this is very slow to load. And apart from that, we have users tab. So in the users tab, we can see all the users here, and we can see the users. Since it's a free environment, we cannot create any user, but otherwise we generally get an option to create a user in here, generally where my mouse is. So in this case, we also get a create user option where you can create user, and while creating the user, we can select what the user type. So if I click on this user, so see, we can see the user name, first name, last name, email, and all this stuff. And also we can set what the user location is, and then internationalization, like what is the user's local, like from which location, like uh, US, time zone, all these things we can set for the users. And also we get to see an option for the user type, what type of user it is. Generally in Appian, we have two type of user. One is basic user and another is system administrator. So like any end user who is going to use Appian as an application, we provide them a basic user account. And all the developer or the support people, we have a system admin account. So as a system admin, we know we get access to this designer tab. So that this designer tab, Appian designer, we are seeing basically only the developer or the people with system admin access, they get access to this. And people, with basic user access, they cannot access this designer part. They can only access Appian sites or all the only those parts where they are supposed to get access. Means we can restrict their access based on like different application. Let's say in an platform we have 10 applications, so we can restrict which access to give to which user. Also, like in this site we can see 5 different tabs, so we can conditionally show certain parts to certain users. Not only that, also we see this data here. In here also we can show certain sections, certain details to certain users. So we can conditionally show data to user, when also we can provide conditional access to users using Appian. Any questions till now? Okay. mm, then let's move on. Apart from that, we have we have admin console. Then we also have cloud database, but these things are condition. Apart from that, here also we get to see the the database. Also we can connect different kind of database using Appian. So for that we also get the admin console. So we'll explain the admin console later. Let's now get to the applications. Let's create one application. So to create application, we can simply click on new application. So um, let's create a home loan application. Okay. So whenever we create an application, we get get to give a prefix for the application, which is a 2 or 3 character prefix. So this prefix remains unique for each application. And what it helps is to basically it helps us to identify which object belongs to which application. So basically, if let's see, if I go to this objects part and let's click on this constant. So we can see there are different kind of constants here: OF, NZ, MLTM, but different kind of. So means in an instance there can be Appian platform, there can be n number of application, but this prefix generally distinguishes which objects belong to which application. So it's recommended to create a prefix when we create an application, and also have the prefix should be mm, you know mm, using the prefix we should be easily identify what the application is. So generally we put it a 2 character to 4 character, not more than that. And in the description we can give a short description. So home loan application and and so and end-to-end process. Now, when we create this, we get option to generate groups and folders to secure and organize objects also. So what is groups and folders? So I'll explain. So I'll click this tick box and let Appian create this folders and groups. So see, it is creating when I click the application. So it generally in is instantly created 2 groups. So one is HLA administrator and HLA user. So it gave the name 2 directly. So anyway, we can rename it later. So this is the administrators group and this is the users group. What is administrator and what is user? So generally, people who is going to have admin access to this application, we put them into administrator group. Let's say the developers or Appian support team. Those people we provide them generally in the administrator group. because they are the system admin. Anything wrong happens to this application, any failure, anything, so we provide them an instant update, or like they can access the application, all they can do everything. So that's why we provide them in a administrator group, and we provide them administrator access. And users group is for all the users who are basic, who have basic access. So this one we provide. And so, and we provide the users as viewer access. So if I click on it, we have administrator, editor, viewer, and deny. So basically any end user who is going to use this application, we put them into a viewer, as a user group. Okay. And this security always recommended to provide to groups, because we do not provide any security to any user directly. I can add a user in here, but if I add any user, it will give me a warning, because Appian does not recommend to provide any access, any application, let's say any application or any object, direct access to the users. Because let's say I am part of the organization today, and I might leave the organization. So once I leave the organization, my account can be deactivated. So in that case, if I am part of this, application security, and when the application or any object is going to be deployed to the higher environment, or in the higher environment, let's say my account is not present. So in that case, the deployment will result in a failure. So that's why Appian always recommend to provide security via groups. So any kind of security, administrator, editor, viewer, whatever you provide, you always provide it via groups. So if I save it, now we'll see what is groups. So once I create the application, Appian is asking me what I need to build first, what I need to create a record, a process model, sites. So we'll come it to later. Let's close it. And let's create one by one from scratch. Now you see here, once I created the application, it is asking me to explore. So I can click on it and go to the build part. So this is the build part where we see all the application objects and everything. And in here, this HLA, this is the groups. So if you see, this is one group and this is another group. So this is the administrator group and this is the users group. So I don't know why Appian gave name as two automatically. Might be some reason, but generally, if I did not check that tick box, I could have created groups and everything myself, and I can rename it. Anyway, I'll rename this thing. So if I tick any object and click on more, and I click on the properties, I have the option to rename it. Okay, and I can save it. So this name already exists. That's why it is giving me mm, 2. So maybe someone already created this group. So in an environment, let's say somebody already use a name or something. Since this is a shared environment, shared Appian environment for training. So might be someone already created this home loan application and used this name. So that's why Appian gave this name 222 everywhere. That is the reason. Okay. So in general, we can, these 2, 3, these kind of things does not come. Okay, so this is the groups. So like if I go inside the groups, I can add any user, I can add any new user to it. I can add a new groups to it. And apart from that, I can create a membership rules to the group. So like it's disabled here. Maybe it's free side, that's why these are restricted. But apart from that, we can create certain rules to add users to as per yeah, means based on the username or user types, we can create different groups. And here also I can add a new members to this application. We can add a new group, like one group can be part of another group. So let's say in an application we have different kind of user. So obviously when we create any Appian application, we need to think who is going to use the application, who will be our user, and what kind of application it is. So let's say this is a home loan application. So let's plan the user sets. So there can be different set of users. One can be the applicants, the people who will be application for home loan. Then there will be bank manager. So bank manager, and then there can be another senior manager or the home loan approver. So like, once we apply for the home loan, it goes through different level of approvals and different level of scrutinies. So for these kind of roles, we need to plan, and we can create different groups. So let's create a new group. So here I can click new and come under this, and I can create a new group. So I can give it name HLA loan applicants applicants group, and parent group I can also select. So I can select my group as a parent group, HLA users. Why I am select this one as a parent? What will happen is, uh, all the user I add to this HLA loan application, loan applicants, they will automatically get access to this, added to this users group. So what will happen? Whatever access this you whatever access to any object this user group of people having, automatically these also will be having access. So parent child relationship will be enabled. So whatever access parent has, his child, means the child users, will automatically get the access. And then once we can add group members from here itself, and we can create a group type. So generally will create a custom, we don't need to do anything. And then visibility. So visibility, it's a restricted or personal, only admins can see each other. And privacy policy is low. So low means members can see each other. Like if we are, we'll explain what privacy policy is when we are going to implement something. And high means only admins can see the members. We generally set it as restricted and low. So the users can see each others, because we in Appians, we have different kind of tasks, and we can reassign tasks. So in these cases, users can reassign tasks from one person to another person. Okay, so that's why we set this privacy policy as low. And we can create this. And then it is, see, one showing one warning. Since my name is already is added as an administrator, that's why it is giving me a warning. I'll remove this name, and then I'll create this and save this. Okay, so now this is created. Now if I go inside these users, so I will see this group is as a direct member. But if I go to this HLA loan application and add certain member, let's say, um, let me see if I can add these users to this. So if I add this Fred fix it to this, now if I go to the HLA users, so you will see Fred Fixit is indirect member. Why? Because Fred Fixit is part of HLA loan applicant. He is a loan applicant, but he is also added to this group, since he is, this HLA loan applicant is actually a member of this group. So automatically parent-child relationships is enabled. If I try to remove this user, I'll not be able to do it. See, if I remove this, it is not working because he is part of this group. I have to remove him from this group, then only he will be removed, since he is an indirect member. So I cannot remove indirect members from any group. I can only remove direct members. I can remove myself. If I remove, my name will be removed. Acha, I am also indirect member. I think I am part of administrator. That's why I am added again. Okay, so like that, in Appian, group relationship happens, and I can click on the group. I can click on this more and click on properties. I can see the group things. So group name, description, members, what part of this, and any group is created, it group is assigned a ID and a UUID. So what is ID and what is UUID? ID means, so there are certain objects in Appian which are assigned certain IDs, and which those IDs changes from environment to another environment. So let's say this ID will be 122.741 in dev, but if we go to SIT, this ID will be changing. But UUID, this is a unique ID, means in each object of Appian is assigned any this 30, I think this is 36 digit. This is a 36 digit alphanumeric unique ID whenever it is created. So this ID does not change from environment to environment, and this UUID basic is actually help us to uniquely identify any object. So let's say we do deployments and anything. So in that time anything goes wrong. So this UUID helps us to identify which object is causing the problem or something is done by this UUID. So this UUID is unique for each object. Means this group, if I go and open this one also, this will also have unique UUID. This folders also will have certain UUIDs. And apart from that, we have certain folders created automatically. This is one is this process model folder. So any kind of process model type object we create, if I click new and if I click on this process model, so any process model type object will be stored into this folder. And this is there is artifact, documentation, knowledge center. So any documents we create, or if we want to generate any document, if you want to upload any document, these things will be stored inside this artifacts folder. Means this document folder, document type folder. So these are green in color. So if I come here and see these documents, so these document object, any document object, if I upload any document or store any document, this will be stored inside these document folders. And then there is knowledge center. So knowledge center is basically parent object of these document folders. So if I click on this, it contains, you can see it contains multiple folders. So all the document folders comes under knowledge center. Basically it's a kind of a repository of all the document and the document folders. And then we have rules and constant. So there are different objects which comes under rules and constant, like expression rule, AI skill, decision, constant, translation sets, integrations, interfaces. So all these objects come under this rules and constants category. So all these objects are part of, means whenever we create them, it will be stored inside this folder. So basically these folders helps to categorize application objects and also provide security. So whenever we create any objects of, let's say I want to create any expression rule or something, automatically it will take the security of this folder. So basically it does the two thing. It organizes the object, also it provides automatic security. So instead of providing individual security to each object, instead what we are doing is we are providing security to the folder level, and then the folder, from the folder the object will automatically inherit security. So basically in Appian we can provide different kind of securities. So generally in beginning you saw we provided security for the applications, and also we can provide securities for each objects or the folders also. So if I click on security, so I can see these are the security is available, and see that this is I cannot do anything. Why? Because it is ticked as inherit security from parent. So parent is this knowledge center. So if I go ahead and change any security for the knowledge center, then automatically these folders securities will be changed. Okay. So if I change anything here, then the dependent child objects, so these are the child objects, their securities also will be changed. Okay, so this is just a very basic of, we create application, then slowly once we create the application, first thing we plan for is creating applic to store the application data. So it is very important whenever creating any Appian application. First thing is we need to plan what kind of data we need to store and what kind of table structure in database we are going to have, what kind of relationships are going to have. This is the very one of the very most important thing we need to plan. So to do that we need to plan our database tables. We need to set up our primary keys, foreign keys. So these things we need to set up, and accordingly then we can create this record type objects. So let's give it a name, HLA mm, loan details. Detail loan application details. Okay, so if we create it, automatically this is taking security, this is a viewer, and this is administrator. So generally we provide viewer and administrator only. Apart from that we have editor, data steward, all these options, which is not required as a basic level. So I can just give viewer and administrator. And now once we create it, now it is asking to tell us about the data. So like once we create, we can select our data source type as database, process, web service, or Salesforce. So as a beginning, we'll only consider about data source from database, and then later we can plan. So then, once we create our database and tables, so using records, we can connect the database using, through tables. Now we have optimized data access, sync data access. What is this? We can explain later. So this what Appian helps us is, so if we any update happens in the data through Appian, automatically it's create a cache memory out of it, and it syncs the data every time. So once we go in deep into record, we'll explain what is synced and unsynced, these things. And then we go there, and I think in this one data source is not configured in this server. So we'll try to set up the data connection. So once we set up a data connection, we see all the database tables we have into this application. So all the data DB connection and table names come up, and then we can select it. So any questions till now, anybody? Or I think we can wrap it up for today as a demo session. Okay, then yeah, I think we are good. We can stop the recording.
Yeah, okay then. We can wrap it up. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Bye.